Hey folks, what's up? Lex here, and today I wanted to talk about some Madden franchise mode. More specifically, what Madden can learn from a roguelike RPG called Darkest Dungeon. Now, before you dismiss this by saying that these two games are in no way similar, let's address what I think franchise mode's number one problem is. It's boring. I mean, let's face it, you're doing the same thing over and over again, trying to see how far you can get. When you get disinterested, you start the mode over again with a new team, or you just go play something else. This is the life of a roguelike game. You play the game to see how far you can get, you die, you start over again. Franchise modes are essentially roguelikes. So wouldn't it make sense to look at one of, if not the best roguelike game on the market, and examine just what it does to keep the game fresh and engaging? Makes sense to me, so here we go. We're going to talk about two main things in this, and the first thing we're going to talk about are stress levels. Just to give you a quick rundown on what Darkest Dungeon is all about, you inherit an estate with an ominous dungeon located down below, and it's up to you to recruit different party members to explore the procedurally generated dungeon and make things safe for your estate once again. While the gameplay is mainly turn-based RPG with dungeon crawling elements, you're also tasked with managing your roster of party members. And we're not talking about just 4 party members here. You can hold more than 28 characters at one time depending on which difficulty you choose. One of the things you'll need to manage are the stress levels of the characters. During quests, party members will accumulate stress depending on the situation and what their quirks are. More on quirks in just a bit. If a party member stresses too much, they will either earn a negative or positive quirk, showing their true resolve. If they stress even further than that before having a chance to unwind, they are at risk of having a heart attack and dropping dead. While obviously dropping dead isn't going to happen in Madden, having a stress system is actually a very interesting proposition, and it's not one that I've heard mentioned before, though I'm sure someone has brought it up at some point. Imagine if you were looking over draft prospects and you see a quarterback with the best arm you've seen in the past 5 drafts. However, you play in a big market area like New York City, and the quarterback prospect has a quirk that has him stressing at a faster rate than normal. If too much stress is built up, not only will it have a negative effect on his abilities, but he'll also begin to develop other bad quirks, thus becoming a bust in the NFL. On the flip side, let's say that we have that same quarterback prospect, but your team is a smaller market team like Buffalo. If the quarterback prospect has success in his first few seasons with the Bills, he can build his confidence and remove the quirk that causes him to accumulate stress faster, giving him a better chance at succeeding with a bigger market team if he were to become a free agent. This stress system can also work the other way, with players not allowing stress or the media to get to them as easily as others. Deciding on whether or not to lean on a guy, or in some cases not having the choice at all on whether you lean on him or not, is a realistic thing coaches have to deal with. Stress is a part of the NFL, and the ones that deal with it the best are often the ones who find success. The second thing we're going to talk about are quirks. The most dynamic feature of Darkest Dungeon is the quirk system. Quirks are personality tics that either aid or hinder a character. There are performance-based quirks like plus 15% bleed resist or minus 4 speed on the first round, and there are broader quirks that affect life outside the dungeon, such as not being allowed to gamble to alleviate stress or being obsessed with religion. All of these quirks come together to make each party member truly different. Personality is a thing that is sorely lacking in Madden, and before you think this couldn't work in Madden, let's take a quick look at MLB The Show, a game that uses quirks in their franchise mode and Diamond Dynasty. MLB The Show 17 had a total of 40 quirks, 13 that impacted gameplay, between hitters and pitchers. An example of a hitter's quirk is Rally Monkey, which gives the hitter who owns it a bonus at the plate when his team is behind in a game. For pitchers, there's the Workhorse quirk, which allows a pitcher to lose energy at a lower rate, making it easier for them to pitch deeper into a game. And for both pitchers and hitters, there are quirks that give buffs and debuffs depending on the time of day they play in. This would add a ton of spice into Madden without even having to change the gameplay. This could also make weather dynamic until they figure out a way to actually make it affect gameplay. Imagine a running back who gets a decrease in acceleration when it's rainy, or a quarterback who gets an increase to throwing power when they play in a dome. That alone fundamentally changes the way you would build your team. Franchise mode by nature is repetitive, and thus that is the problem we need to build a solution for. it won't ever not be repetitive, and building features that make us just get through seasons quickly isn't going to help, because there's still nothing there on the other side to strive for. So making the process of playing through multiple seasons dynamic should be the main solution that the developers are striving to achieve themselves. Instead of getting from point A to point B as fast as we possibly can, this mode should be about taking our time and taking in the sights and the milestones as we pass them. Guys, let me know what some cool quirks for Madden would be down in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell to get more videos like this in the future, and I'll catch you guys next time. This is Lex, signing off.